Thank you for listening to ShulchanAruch.com.
Wearing a Tallis Gadol properly. A mitzvah that all adult men fulfill during davening of Shacharis. We wear a tallis. And as we know, there exist a variety of customs regarding how to put on the tallis, how to say the bracha over it, how to wear it afterwards during the prayers. And each community is to follow their minhag, their custom, on condition that the custom follows the guidelines of halacha. Meaning that no matter what minhag one follows in his tallis wearing, it must be worn in a way that is halachically valid. So what conditions must be met for a tallis wearing to be halachically valid? So the Gemara in Menachos 40b brings a concept which is known as sheer tallis, which is the minimal measurement that a tallis must have for the tallis to be obligated in tzitzis, and for one to fulfill the mitzvah of tzitzis with such a tallis. And so is recorded in the Shulchan Aruch in chapter 16 that the tallis must be large enough to cover the head and majority of both the width and length of the body of a 9-year-old child for it to be chayiv in tzitzis. And from here we can learn, as writes the Magen Avraham in chapter 8:2 and the Alter Rebbe in 8:8 in the Shulchan Aruch, that the Tallis Gadol must be worn in a way that it covers one's actual body. A person who uses the tallis and wears it in a way that it only covers his head and around his neck and does not cover over his body is not fulfilling the mitzvah, and they are to be protested. As although we also find discussion amongst the Rishonim and the Poskim regarding covering your head with the tallis, nonetheless everyone agrees that the body itself must be covered and the head alone does not suffice. Shari Tshuva writes, the one who wears a tallis in such a way that it's only around his neck is saying a bracha levatala, as he doesn't fulfill the mitzvah in wearing it in such a way. Likewise, as writes the Magen Avraham, the Masas Binyanim, and other Poskim, that those who wear the tallis in a way that is just wrapped around one's shoulders, with the right side around the left shoulder and the left side over the right shoulder, since it's not covering the body, they do not fulfill the mitzvah, and it's a bracha levatala. In the Har Mitzrayim, the famous Egyptian codifier, he writes that many Egyptian Jews would wear the tallis this way, and they are to be educated how to wear it properly, as wearing it in this way is incorrect. So now that we know that the body must be covered by the tallis, and not just to wear it like a scarf, the question is asked, how much of the body is to be covered? How wide must your tallis be for it to fulfill the mitzvah of being a garment that is worn that requires tzitzis? So while we find a number of opinions in the Poskim regarding the exact definition of sheer tallis, how many amas is it, of which the general conclusive ruling is there must be a minimum of 50 centimeters wide and 1 meter in length. This is only with regards to its physical size. However, must 1 meter in length of the tallis and 0.5 meter in width of the tallis physically cover one's body is not explicitly discussed in the Poskim. And this would lead one to think that so long as the tallis drapes down and covers your body, covers your back, you're fulfilling the mitzvah even if it's not open all the way, in a way that 0.5 meter of your back is covered by the tallis. So in truth rule a number of Poskim, the Beis Yaakov, the Berhetiv, Ben Echai, the Mishnah Brura, and others, that although we have a minimum measurement for the tallis that it must be, which is, as we stated, 0.5 meter, which is 50 centimeters in width, nonetheless, those 50 centimeters don't have to cover 50 centimeters of your back. So if the tallis is rolled up or folded a little bit, in a way that the tallis doesn't fully cover 50 centimeters of your back, it's valid. However, the Alter Rebbe in his Siddur teaches us a great novelty, and explains that the entire mitzvah of tallis is not just that it physically contain a 50 centimeter width measurement, but that it be worn and cover 50 centimeters of the width of your body. Otherwise, it's considered as if you're not wearing it. Just like the minimum size we all agree must be 50 centimeters in width, so to an actuality it must be worn in a way that it covers 50 centimeters in width of your body. And therefore the Alter Rebbe rules in the Siddur that both the Tallis Katan and Gadol must be worn in a way that is completely open, not rolled up, so at least 49 centimeters, which is the exact measurement of an amma, of material of the tallis covers your back, both in length and in width. And the rolled areas and folded areas are not included in the minimum measurement required. From this we can understand that those who are accustomed to roll their Tallis Gadol on the side of their shoulders in a way that make it that by their back the tallis contains less than 50 centimeters of width, and they are not fulfilling the mitzvah of wearing a tallis. And they are to be educated and taught to always make sure to leave it open enough that at least 50 centimeters of one's body's width is covered by the tallis. This same idea likewise applies to the tallis katan, and it is for this reason that many are accustomed to wear a bindle or a belt around their tallis katan to prevent it from folding and losing its minimum of 50 centimeter width around one's body, which would make it as if he's not wearing the tallis. It's very important for fathers, educators, and chassan teachers to educate the son or the chassan right away on the first day that he begins wearing the Tallis Gadol and how to wear it properly and how to avoid rolling it in a way that can make it as if it is not being worn.
Thank you for listening to ShulchanAruch.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at ShulchanAruch.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.